to follow. The Bible says to abide means that the definition of abiding, one of the definitions is to follow. When you are an abider in Jesus Christ, you follow him. The one songwriter, very, very basic, didn't have no orchestration or nothing like that, just basic songwriting. He said, follow, follow, I will follow Jesus. Anywhere, everywhere, I will follow on. You can't get more basic than that. The man has made up his mind that as an abiding Christian, he will follow Jesus. So the first word that we know that we will replace the word fear with is to follow. F, to follow, to obey, to observe, to respect, to acknowledge Jesus, to walk in his footsteps. Everywhere Jesus put his foot, you put yours right behind it. Everywhere he put his foot, you put yours right behind it. You're not looking to the right nor to the left. You're watching the feet of Jesus, and everywhere he goes, you follow right behind him. You know that Jesus is worth following, so you follow on. When we go to Dunn's River Falls, they have some guides there, and I don't know if you all know Dunn's River Falls. Dunn's River Falls is 600 feet of cascading waterfall, tiered like a wedding cake. This is the national description of our major attraction, is that the 600 feet Dunn's River Fall is tiered like a wedding cake, and the water cascades from the top right into the Caribbean Sea. But you try climbing Dunn's River Falls and don't know where to put your foot. You will end up into the Caribbean Sea with a great splash. So when you go to Dunn's River Falls, they have some tour guides that are trained, that know the terrain of the rock stones, that know that you cannot put your foot on this stone because it's slippery, and you can't put your foot on that stone because it's way too steep. So the tour guide will go in front of you, and he will hold your hand, and he will tell you, put your foot there. And anywhere he puts his foot, you have to follow him and put your foot there. And you put your foot and follow the tour guide right across and up the Dunn's River Falls until you come to the top, where you sit in what looks like a nice little jacuzzi. It is the same thing with Jesus. When you are an abider, you hold the hand of Jesus, and anywhere he puts his foot, you follow right behind him. And there is no way that when you follow Jesus, you're going to slip on a rock. One day I went to Dunn's River Falls. I saw some very ambitious tourists made up their mind that they didn't need a tour guide. They didn't want to pay the price for a tour guide. It was simply just walking on some stupid rocks. Lorraine, we don't need no tour guide. And so they decided to go up to Tour Falls by themselves, and they did not know where to put their foot. And as they reached halfway up Dunn's River Falls, I saw one of them foot slip, and he catapulted down the stone, dragging everybody else with him, and came off the falls with a broken leg. When you want to follow Jesus, you know that when you follow, you put your foot where your foot should go. There is no way you're gonna slip and slide, because in this Christianity, when you fall, somebody else falls with you. Every person that falls due to temporary Christianity, somebody else falls with you. It doesn't matter how you think that, oh, I'm nobody cares, and and no big thing in the church. It's not as if I'm a deacon or not like that. They don't even know when I'm not there. When you slip and fall, even the neighbors who are watching you get dressed every Sunday, going to church and saying, boy, I wish I could be like that sister. Every Sunday without feeling, no matter rain or shine, she get up and gone to church. When you start staying home, the neighbors start looking through the window. So how is she there this week? Am I lying? No. The neighbor watches, and the first week she says, how is she there this week? Normally this time they set them clock by you. You know that Jamaican people are like that. They set their clocks by you, you know. They watch and see Our Pastor Chisholm across the road should be leaving for church now. And 2 Sundays, Pastor Chisholm don't get up and leave. They wonder, I wonder if something wrong with the car or if she's sick. They know. So when you fall and when you fail, people come tumbling down with you. So when you're an abiding Christian, you have to make sure you put your foot where Jesus' foot going and stay with him. Because when you fall and slide, others will slide with you. So that's the first thing we do. Abiding Christians follow Jesus. Anywhere, everywhere, I will follow on. Abiding Christians E. Abiding Christians endure. That's the E from the veil. Abiding Christians endure. Do you think it's easy to endure? Endure means to suffer, to handle stuff. Abiding Christians know that it's not always going to be pretty. Abiding Christians know that life is life. Get used to it. Sometimes up, sometimes down. Almost level to the ground. But I've got to keep my fire burning, because everybody knows if you are an abider that you are going to have to endure. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that abiders must endure. From the Old Testament to the end of the New Testament, to the intertestamental period, to the new generation, to the new era, to the 21st century, anybody who has an ounce of sense knows that as long as you're living this life, there are going to be times when you just have to grin, bear it, suck it up, and endure what you're going through. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that you want to be in a job one time or the other in your life that you don't even like the people and they don't like you. Everybody knows that. And if you haven't reached there yet, grow up. It soon come. Everybody knows that, Brother Leroy. Everybody knows that sometimes even though you love your job, there are some people who don't like you. Even all when you help them. Everybody knows that even though sometimes you love your job, there you don't like some people. That's the way life goes. You enjoy the job. But Jesus, I wish that person would just resign. Why don't you resign? Because that's what the person is saying. You just know that it's not always going to be wonderful. Everybody's not going to always love you. You're not always going to get it down pat. And your bread not going to be buttered 3 sides plus on the rough side too. It doesn't work like that. Everybody knows that in Christianity, Annie, we're going to have to endure some things. Come on. Come on. The women should understand this even a little more than the men. Because when you're pregnant and reach 8 months, the 9th month is endurance. When I was having Stephen at the 9th month, I went to Dr. Chan and I said, I'm tired of this. You getting out of me before I throw him away. She said, but Lorraine, you have about 2 weeks. I said, not another hour. I'm through. Anything else he wants to eat or drink, he comes and does it himself. I'm tired. She said, you have to just hold on. Endure it for another 2 weeks. No, my husband's got my suitcase downstairs. I'm going upstairs to the hospital in a bed. You're going to take this shot. I've had enough. Because the 9th month, everybody knows you are ugly. Come on, man. There are those who are blessed among us, like pretty sister Debbie, who it does come to, but I'm sorry. 90% of us don't look wonderful on the 9th month. Your feet look like you have elephantitis. Your nose black and spread way across your face. Oh, it's awful. Well, I don't care what you tell me. I know I did not like me when I was at me. You know, my husband loves me, so he thinks I was beautiful. I thought my nose was black and spread. But those are the times when you have to endure. Because if you are carrying forth a child and you don't endure the 9th month, then you have wasted the entire 8 months before. You have wasted everything else you put in. You have to endure the 9th month in order to bring new life forth. So when you're in Christianity, when you start abiding and some things start happening to you that you think shouldn't happen, you have to endure it forth for God. It is when you are an abider and you endure to the end. Lord, have mercy. Jesus Christ, when he saw the day coming and he knelt down in the Garden of Gethsemane, you think that wasn't his endurance period? You think he didn't see the cross coming? You think he couldn't feel the nail scars in his hand long before he licked him? When man is sitting down, people walking past people in the prison, when they have been told that they've got death sentence, the other prisoners, when they're walking down the passageway, the other prisoners point on them and shout, "Dead man walking, dead man walking, dead man walking," and that prisoner has to endure it until they inject him and kill him. You think Jesus didn't feel like a dead man walking sometimes? But he had to endure, because you don't get the prize unless you endure. So our second letter in the word fear is to endure. We need to know, Sister Keisha, that no matter what is going on, with just a little Jesus, we can deal with it. We need to understand